Good morning. If you're just joining us, it is Takeoff Tuesday. This is your host, Keely Austin. Welcome to the Elevate Renatus team call. As of right now, we have 48 participants. That's great. Make sure that you are reaching out to your ICMs and your team. We don't want anybody left behind. These are amazing trainings, and what a great way to start off your morning. And our goal, as we know, is always to exceed 100 participants. Our trainer today is the wonderful Bill Predebon. Bill is somebody that I really look up to, and I have the pleasure of seeing multiple times a week because we're both here in Scottsdale. He is truly a product of the product. Bill Predebon, I'm just so honored to bring you out today. Before Renatus, he was a pro skier for 10 years in Vail, Colorado. He realized he was not qualified to do much else. He then got into the franchise business, and due to lack of knowledge, it cost him the business and he lost everything. In 2007, he heard about real estate investing. He did not have education and tried this on his own. He ended up upside down in over $400,000 during the 2008 crash. Then he found Renatus. He made 8 times more in his first year in Renatus from this education in doing real estate deals than the previous year as a loan officer. That's just incredible. That just shows the power of this education when you're determined and you have a path that you know that you want to go on. So since Bill has found this education, he's completed over 130 deals. He's grossed multiple 7 figures in real estate. He's a marketing leader and a PIT team member, meaning he is a President's Advisory Council member in training. We're very, very fortunate to have him as our trainer today, and I'm excited to hear what Bill has to share with us. Good morning, Bill.
Keely, how's the volume?
You sound awesome.
Well, that is good because I could not log in to this interesting. I had to did you have to, man, normally I can just click and I had to log in from my browser. So now my whole thing is so funny. My whole platform's different, but at least you guys can hear me. So that's good.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, it happened the other day when I did my own team call. Zoom as well. I don't know. I'll have to check something on my computer. Maybe I'll have to restart it. But yeah, hey, what's up, girl? Congratulations on a great, successful Renatus Regionals here in Scottsdale in Arizona with the whole Southwest community. You're awesome. Thanks for everything that you do, not only on this call, but oh my God, for what you do for the team in, with what you and the hospitality team had to accomplish this weekend. It was flawless. And folks, I'll tell you, if you are not unable to attend that regional, what Keely and her team and Sylvia's team does here in Scottsdale and in Arizona is just awesome. So Keely, for everything you do, not just this call every morning, but everything you do, thank you so much. You're an example, a leader, and I appreciate it. Right on. Welcome, everybody. Alicia, welcome. Sumari, hello. Okay, I always start out the call, 760-533-3141. And that is my cell phone number, 760-533-3141. I put it in the chat. Let's see. That's so funny. Yeah, I have no idea how to work these controls. Okay, so what I'm going to do, let's see, is talk a little bit about the regional. I'm not going to talk about the regional. I'm going to share with you guys some of the things that I trained with. I got the opportunity to train at the regional, and what an honor, right? To get 30 minutes of time in front of a couple hundred people, but to share the stage with the best of the best is just a really good opportunity, an honor. Scott Rowe, Michael Huggins, John O'Neill, James Lease, the folks that were on that from the pack that were there, and sharing Eric Counts, of course, bringing some knowledge on credit, and then the major, the other guys that are speaking, of course, that'll be at all the regionals. So, remember the question you guys want to ask yourself is, which regionals are you going to go to? So, unfortunately, I was going to go to Chicago next weekend, but it's right after I'm going to be in, I got to go back home, see my dad. We're going to go to the USC Notre Dame game. So, good morning, girl. All right, well, let's kick this thing off. So make sure you guys, I mean, honestly, if you're, man, I'll tell you, folks, if you are debating on whether or not to go to a regional, and typically that the only reason you're debating that, given that you're on this call, would be money. I get it. I missed a regional in 2008, I think, and it was in Southern California. I don't think we were doing a regional here in Arizona. And it was my first year. I think I might have been in the business at 2 months or something. And I honestly didn't know what it was. And people talked about it, and they talked about why they were like, you don't miss a regional, you don't miss an event. I didn't really get that. It didn't make sense to me. It wasn't really, not that I needed an explanation, but you know what I mean? People were just talking about that you've got to go to these events, right? The people that make money go to these events. The people that don't make money go to these events. That's why they go to these events. And the regional was the number one thing that you should be doing at that time in order to increase your business, to really learn the culture. And it just didn't make sense to me. And so I think a lot of having these calls can help clarify to you the importance and the value that is there for the regional. So if you're struggling, honestly, guys, I even if I wanted to go, I don't know how I would have done it. I mean, I definitely wasn't gonna. I mean, understand something. My wife is the best, right? Like literally. And in 2008, 2007, like she would support me no matter what. But I was in a place where I was very stubborn. I did not want to get a job because I was 38 years old. I wasn't a child. So it wasn't like, I'm not getting a job. That's not what I meant. But I'm going off on a little tangent here, but it's going to have some purpose to it. Thank you guys for being here. There's 63 of you on the call. Yesterday when I called in, there was 110 on the call for Michael. Obviously, he's got a little more clout than I do, but I appreciate all of you that are here. And so understand, and I hope many of you can relate to this. And it's not just financial, but even if it's time-wise away from the family. Many of you have children. I don't have children. We weren't even married. No, we were married. We had just been married, but for us, it was a financial thing. And I really didn't have the money. In fact, I had no money. She was making money. She has a great career. She's a consultant now. She's the best in her field. She's writing a book. She owns her own business. She's amazing. Back then, she was supporting me, and I wasn't helping to support us. Like we had just gotten married, and she didn't sign up necessarily, if it makes sense, for someone to be a complete broke entrepreneur. When I came into the relationship having some money before I lost my business. Thanks, Samari. And so, when people were telling me this, I immediately didn't have an open mind to it, number one. So if you don't have an open mind on anything that someone tells you, it's gonna have a hard time leaving an impact on you. You're gonna have a hard time even being open to what's possible. All right. Number two is, if you're not sure why this is worth it, talk to a few people. Like literally call them or ask them, and build the value. And this goes with your students, right? Your prospects. If you build more value, it's going to make sense to them why they should get started. And so create a little more value around the regional other than you got to be there. Everybody's going, Bob's going to be there. Like all of that is value in itself. But I had a couple guests this weekend. They had been to a Thursday night. They were referred to me through a warm market. So they are technically a warm market's warm market. So there was an instant trust there already. And then I did a one-on-one with them. Right, this is the system. Thursday night, one-on-one. And then the regional was 2 weeks away. And so these guys are real estate professionals. They are not necessarily interested in the business, but we discussed it a little bit. I don't know how it came up in the conversation in the one-on-one. And then I described the regional, and I'll tell you what they were looking for. They are awesome. They were looking for family. They were looking for a place to call home. They were looking for a place to network and a place to raise private money. They were looking for a place to gain relationships in the industry and not be in a guru setting, because they'd done that. And they were already building spec homes, and they were professionals for years. And they came to the regional and with blinders on, right? I mean, I kind of had to try to explain it to them, and had no idea what to expect. So they had an incredible day of training on Friday rather, and then they had the banquet. And I'll tell you, they met Bob Snyder, right? And they saw the awards, and they saw the camaraderie, and they saw the edification. They saw the people receiving recognition, and what the culture was like. And culture is important. Like, if you think about tech companies right now, like, it's a billion dollar industry, multi-billion, trillion-dollar industry. And these tech companies are starting with culture. They're not starting with tech. I mean, they have a concept, but it's not launched yet. It's not even an IPO yet. It's not even funded yet. But they're starting with a culture. They're starting with an open atmosphere, a new type of learning, a new type of work atmosphere, a new type of desk, a new type of office setting. And people fall in love with this, and they fall in love with the culture of Renatus. And these regionals really culminate, and they exemplify, they amplify that culture. And so, on Saturday afternoon at the break, here's another thing, you guys. I've closed, for lack of a better term, I have 54 people on my team, including spouses. So 44 direct sales. And so obviously I'm not the best of the best when it comes to that yet, right? But I've had a little bit of experience. And they're sitting in the room, and I shot Michael a text. Michael and Scott wasn't there. Michael and Scott, number one and number two income earner in the company, or vice versa, or top this and top that. And I said, hey, this is where they're at. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask for the order. You got any suggestions? And I wouldn't have thought of this, honestly. I had my laptop with me. I was not going to bring my laptop and sit next to them. I was going to go over and sit next to them. And I was going to ask for the order and then go back to my laptop and sit down and place the order. Or I would have set a time for after the event on Saturday to place the order. But he's like, hey, just bring your laptop over there, ask him, tell him how exciting the atmosphere is and the energy and whatever. And then just start typing in the order. And that's what I did. And they funded their order that day, and they funded their ICM. And it's not always about doing it on your own. And that's the same thing with the regional. Like, the regionals, talk to the people that have been, talk to your 5-star. And if you're not able to go financially or even time-wise, at least explore the possibility of what the value is of the regional. And I'm probably talking to most of you, you're set up to go to a regional. So maybe it's this. Maybe it's EMT. Maybe it's national for you. Maybe it's a second regional, right? Something that is going to cost you money and time and energy. Something that's going to put you out of your comfort zone. And it's going to have the most value when you are there, when you're sacrificing the most, right? So, like, if you're comfortable going to this regional, you don't have to take time off of work. Friday and Saturday are your days off anyway. You can easily put it on a credit card. Possibly you're not stretching your zone, right? You're not stretching your comfort zone. That's simple. So it's not going to have as much value. I can't tell you how many people I see at a regional that literally are not taking notes or paying attention. But if you are sacrificing everything to be there, you'll probably most likely pay a little more attention and really engage. So maybe it's a second regional. Maybe it's going to a regional that you've never been to, where you don't know anybody, and you've never been to that territory, and maybe you'd like to see a new city. But it costs money to travel, costs money for a plane ticket, costs money for a hotel. And now you're stretching your budget, right? Now you're stretching your time frame. And maybe it's more important to you now. So just thinking outside the box here, guys, if that's whatever the term for this. It's things like that experience I had with Michael, and just, either way, I probably would have placed the order and this had the same result potentially. But having that, if you guys think that we don't get that, for me, I'll speak for myself. There was definitely nerves, right? I wanted these people to enroll. I wanted them to like what they saw. I wanted them to appreciate what we were doing. And I knew that they were, and I knew that they did, but it didn't necessarily mean that they were going to drop 20 grand, right? I knew they had the money. I knew what they were doing. I knew what they wanted to do. And, but I just wanted to confirm, right? I wanted a second opinion. I wanted a professional opinion. I wanted to know what Michael would do. And he gave me an idea that I necessarily didn't come up with. And it's just amazing what's possible when you surround yourself with the right people. So I'll dive into a little of my training, but I just wanted to, what I was getting at from 2008 is, if maybe it's a deal, a real estate deal, maybe it's a customer, a friend of yours, a family member, whatever it is, I can promise you this. For 2008, 2009, and 2010, before the separation of the company, when I was doing this business, I would typically have retail sales, and I would make 30 to 50 grand a year, maybe 30 to 40,000 a year. I think I had one year is 50 grand. And most of the time, I never had a roll-up sale, ever. And I had retail customers. And I did this all by myself. And what that means is that I would call them, I would follow up with them, I would invite them. I never did a three-way call. I didn't believe in it. I didn't understand it. I didn't see the point in it. If they couldn't come to an Epic, I did one over the phone. Right? Stupid. Never ever showed them third party. I always did it myself. And even if they like what I heard, imagine if you were new and you sat there and listened to someone who knew it all, and you had to consider yourself learning all of that and being able to do what I did on your own. Most people don't want to do that, right? They can't imagine it. So whatever it is with your prospects, consider not doing it on your own. Consider talking to your five-star, some of your team leaders, your friends in the family, and asking them for help. Whether it's financial and you set up some sort of system where you can pay them back on your sales, whether it's sharing a room, understanding the value, following up with a guest of yours, talking to your guest at the room. Sometimes I ask people to talk to my guests just because I'm always talking to my guests, right? And they need to meet other people. And even my teammates, go talk to this guy. He's not usually in the meetings, but he's here this weekend, whatever. And that third party validation, that camaraderie, that culture begins to set in, and it brings up someone's belief, including your own. So anyway, you guys get my point. Whatever it is you're struggling with, like I did in 2008 with going to that regional in Southern California, I regret it. I mean, if I'd have gone, perhaps I would have seen some of the value with some of the marketing, and I would have spent more time on the marketing, and I would have my life could have a different trajectory. Maybe I would have not ever left in 2011, and who knows what would have happened over those 5 years when the top income earners now, started again in 2011. So, we don't think about the consequences of our actions very often, especially on long term. And I'm telling you, if you ever want to know, or if you take the time to think about it, in what not going might be, what not following up with someone might not be, whatever it is you're contemplating that seems hard to do, and you decide not to go without ever checking with some other people, 5, 6, 8, 10 years down the road, you may look back and go, that could have been a turning point. I don't know that for sure, but it's possible, because everybody I know that was making money went to that regional in Southern California. So that leads me to this. I trained on, I could share my screen. Let's see. I don't really need to. Let's see what happens when I do it. Let's see. We'll go at application window. All right. That's not working. I'm here, guys. Hold on. You would assume that I could just pull this up. Awesomely. I can attest to the value of the three-way call. I don't know if you guys are reading these chats. If you're not, it was nice to see you closing someone. Yeah, that was another closing. All right. If this doesn't work one more time, I'm just going to skip it, because I know what. Can you guys, Keely, can you see that?
So I can see your desktop, and it says it just says Keely Austin for some reason, but click on new share. Click on share on the bottom middle.
Yeah, it's not letting me. There we go.
That's what when you clicked on new share, what happened?
Well, it says you're sharing your screen, but then I go to pull up my PowerPoint, and it just covers my.
Yeah, you should have the option to just share your PowerPoint.
I know.
Do you have your PowerPoint open, or is it closed?
Yeah, no, it's open, and it's on my bar below, and I don't know why.
Don't have it minimized. Have it up and open.
You don't see it now, right?
No. If it's minimized, it's not going to show as an option, so have it up, open on your screen, and then click on new share. Yeah, nothing's happening.
Okay. We're not going to waste anybody's time. I'm going to stop sharing. That's so weird. All right. You can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Can you see me?
No. It says, no, we can. Yeah, we can.
Okay. Screw it. All right. So let's see. In the regional training I did, I'll kind of talk through it, you guys. If you have any questions, or, you can come off mute. Obviously you guys know that about me. So many of you were at regionals, or some of you were at regionals, many of you weren't. So at our regional, right, was number one. So I got an opportunity to train, and I, it was kind of interesting, because now watch this, you guys. So I had, fortunately, I had 31 people at the regional, between my guests, my team's guests, and me. And my team, of course. So congratulations to the Billy Goat team. You guys were awesome. We had 56 people at Thursday night's event. 56 that were part of the Billy Goat team, or my team's team. some of my team now is 5-star, so I counted some of their people. And it was awesome. So between our guests and our team, my team. And so for me, it's a lot. I count these numbers, you guys. I've been counting them since 2016 when I got back. I've been counting the number of people that are in the Thursday night room. I count the number of people on Super Saturday that are directly related to me. And then I be more specific and I count the number of buying units that I have, not couples. I always count the number, right? So if there's a couple, that's 2 people, but as a buying unit, they're 1. And then I do a percentage, right? I want to count. I always ask Sylvia or Keely or Kevin, and I ask them how many people are in the room, and then I count them myself, and I do a calculation to see what percentage of the room I have. And it's something for me to measure how my success is and what my team's doing, and if it's growing, and if I'm starting to expand and things like that. I don't know. I never used to do these things, you guys. So when you start to do more, when you start to do extra things like that, it I don't know what it is, man. It's the universe. Jennifer Seamus talks about it. What you think about comes about, right? And Pruitt. And so anyway, just whatever it is that you are doing, just expand out. So this is what I did. So I had these guests in the room, and I had to come up with a training. And of course, I don't know, when you guys start to train and many of you are already doing presentations and stuff, I swear to God, when I do presentations, you guys, that day that I do it, I mean, I spend at least 2 hours. I've done it, I don't know, 1,000 times. I don't know. And maybe not that many, but a lot. And I still work on it. I still change out a slide. I still try to think of something else. I still try to think of something else to say about the slide because I want to bring new content, but not different content, just new, not new, just presented in a different way, right? Because there's no new content to what we do anytime. And then I want to be able to explain it simpler and faster. So I get the opportunity to make this PowerPoint up and have a 30-minute training. And I called it "Why Not?" And I emphasize not real estate, right? So not doing real estate, right? This is a regionals training. And you guys all know me. I mean, Keely introduced me as a real estate investor, sophisticated, educated, successful real estate investor, right? I've done, I don't know now. If you look at my board, I have one more deal on there I didn't put on there. I'm on deal number 16 for the year. And I expect to buy about 3 more, maybe 4 more before the year's end in the next quarter, right? And I mean, people are doing more deals than me, so it's not a comparison. I'm just letting you know. So I should be over 140 deals, whatever it is, by the end of the year. Maybe I'm already there. But I'm here to tell you that there's an interesting dynamic. And what I trained on was this. And you guys have heard me kind of say this before, but number 1 is your commitment. Your commitment to what it is that you're doing. And I'm going to tell you this. So for example, so for me, when I got started, even in 2016 with Renatus, or if you look back in 2008, I never committed to the marketing, right? I even look back at 2016, and Gary asked me, "Are you committed to the marketing? You're going to come back?" And I'm like, "Absolutely. I want to be up in front of the room. I want to, whatever you need me, I want to serve you. I'm here to help, contribute, tell my story, and meet people and bring people to the meeting." And so, I started placing a Craigslist ad every 2 weeks. I placed it sometimes in 2 different sections. So back then it was $35. And so it's $70 every 2 weeks. I was spending a couple $100 a month at least. I was making up my own list. A lot of times I was doing my one-on-ones with my folks myself. So, I was committed. But commitment means time, right? It doesn't always just mean simple action. And I look back now and you guys, I wasn't inviting everybody that I talked to. I wasn't spreading the word the way I should. I wasn't taking massive action. Like you, my business was real estate. So you have a family, you have a job, you have a business, you have whatever it is you're already doing. And there's no way you can change that right away, right? You can't. It's your belief. It's where you're comfortable. It's what you know. So if you know that you can make money going to work, you're going to make money going to work. You know that if you're going to get fired, if you don't go show up on a Saturday and you call in sick, so you're not going to call in sick. Like, you know these things. You know that if you don't go to your kid's game, your kid's going to be disappointed, right? There's things that you know, so you choose. That's life. That is your life. And it makes sense. There's nothing wrong with it. However, check your commitment, right? What was I truly committed to? I was committed to real estate. Why? Because I knew it would make money. In fact, my wife and I would have a conversation. You cannot give up the real estate. That's our bread and butter, right? We both make money, but I make a lot of money in real estate. And the idea of taking a couple steps back was on the forefront of my mind. Like, I, in my head, was telling myself I'm going to do that. But when deals came up, I kept doing them, right? So check your commitment level. Like, see where you really are committed. So, like, if you think about it, I love sports. You guys know this. And I was back to playing hockey twice a week. Thursday night was roller hockey. Sunday night was ice hockey. Go to the gym 5 days a week, sometimes 6 days a week. Every Saturday, I went to what's called a sweat mill. And I'd work my butt off for an hour, nonstop running, weights, mostly cardio, abs, all this stuff. And I loved it. I went every Saturday at 8 o'clock. You know what? That's gone. I can't go at 8 o'clock to be at a Super Saturday at 9. Gone. So I made these sacrifices, these small little sacrifices. But where was my commitment? My commitment was to my real estate. So when I look back at even then, I'm like, I thought I was committed then, right? Fortunately, towards the end of last year, and even last year in general, I would, when I fell short in 2017 of making the PIP by $3,000, I just thought it was going to happen by the end of the year. I looked at my numbers. I'm like, I'll be over 75,000 easy by the end of the year. And then a couple things didn't come on. A UGA payment didn't get made. One guy didn't pay off his UGA like he said. He only paid off a part of it. And I didn't make another direct sale. I'd have made one more direct sale, and I would have blown it away. And it didn't happen. And I looked at that in 2017 and 2018. I look back and I'm like, I wasn't committed. I didn't commit to that goal. You don't want to meet your goal. You want to exceed your goal, right? You don't want to fall short. So I got really focused. That was my number one goal, was to make PIT. So I hit PIT last year before the fourth quarter, right? And then I was able to, then they rolled out that contest, and I was able to keep up the momentum and make it through that contest. And then I wrote down on the board that I was going to be a part of that contest. This year, I've been focused 100% on the pack, right? My commitment level has been much higher. Now, if you move forward in my training, the next thing is, I better check. The next thing I said in my training was, take the time to learn, right? So, folks, I'm not going to spend as much time on this training as I did at the regional, but I'm going to tell you, take the time to learn. Many of us, now remember, I'm sitting here talking to people in the audience, and some of them are guests that are still enrolling, and they're there for real estate. They're there to see the business and the culture, but they're also not.
Hey,
they're
Alvin,
also there.
You are off mute. Can you please mute yourself, Alvin?
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks, Keels. The cool thing is so I'm taking a risk. Like, I knew this training was going to be like, what? This guy's telling us not to do real estate, right? So now follow me on this. I'm just saying, why not real estate? So number 2 is learn, right? Alvin, you're still on mute, or you're not off mute. There you go. I think you got it. All right. So what I mean by learn, take the time to learn, is, here's the thing. We think money, right? When I got started, the first thing I needed to do was make money. So immediately I had no money, no resources, no credit. I really didn't know anybody who was going to partner with me on a deal. I didn't barely even know how to do a deal. So I had to learn. And I mentioned this to you guys before. but I'll say it again for newcomers, is that my education was live. When we had the old company and I got started, I had to go to class. So I had to take off a week of work or anything that we were doing. We would put ourselves up in a hotel. Of course, I lived here so I could drive back and forth because I had my dogs and I would have to let them out at break time, lunchtime, whatever. My wife's at work, literally working, and I'm off playing, going to these classes, not making any money, spending money to eat and drive there and hang out with people and have fun and study. But nonetheless, I had to go to class because I took the short sales class 5 times. It's a 2-day class. Every single college that we went to, I went to the short sales class and I had already taken it. Why? Because I had to master it. It was constantly changing. I had to master short sales because that's what I was doing. If you guys are watching the fix and flip class and you're watching it twice, I mean, one day each, so 2 days, and then you go out and do a fix and flip, I mean, in today's market, in most of our markets, you're going to have some success. But I'll tell you, you are not a fix and flip master. You should be studying Ben and Heather like 4 or 5 times. Those guys are the best. Like those guys came from scratch. And they are our fix and flip instructors who have done thousands or I don't know, whatever, hundreds and hundreds, 800 deals, 800 fix and flips. They're building houses. They know what they're talking about. Watch them more than once. Take the time, right, before you dive into this. Now, here's the other thing. Imagine if you watch some classes, you're like, multifamily, commercial, I'm not into that right now. I don't even watch wealth acceleration. I'm not a wealthy person. Like, I get it. But check it out. Listen. Imagine if you got some knowledge about something you don't know about, and all of a sudden your course of action is much bigger. Your thought process is like, this is where I need to be, right? I'm on the phone yesterday with a guy for 45 minutes. He's been in the commercial real estate industry for 40 years plus. I mean, loaded. He has 3 yachts, and I'm considering buying one of his yachts. And in fact, I'm going to go out to San Diego, and it's 84 feet. I would use it as a floating Airbnb on the coast of San Diego. My wife and I spent some time talking about it. It's beautiful. It's certified yacht for charter boats. It's just incredible. I mean, I can't. It's so cool. So I'm on the phone with this guy, and I'm telling you, like where he comes from and what he's been able to accomplish. I don't know if he's a billionaire. I don't know if he's just 100 millionaire. I don't know what he is. I don't know him that well. But I'm telling you, like, if we look at Garrett Gunnins' wealth creation class, and you guys love Nate Lambert, and you look at what he's expanding his mind to understand. So all of a sudden, fix and flip might be something you want to do. I'm not saying don't do it. I've made a great living at it, but man, there's risk. I've lost money on 6 deals. I'm about to lose money on my 7th deal in my life. I can't sell this property. I'm going to have to sell it for a loss. One of the ones I've had for a year. And so, can you believe it? I mean, after 140 deals, how's that even possible for someone like me, right? Not true. It's risky, you guys. Yes, Keely. And so, the point is there's no risk to inviting someone to a meeting. There's no risk in following up with somebody and having them say no. There's no risk in them going from a combo to an essentials. There's no risk in anything that has anything to do with marketing. None. Like, if you think about it, you're not even risking the $35 it used to cost. Now we're not putting ads on job sites, but if you're putting up signs that are compliant, whatever compliant marketing you're doing, you're getting calls and you're learning and you're experiencing what it's like to talk to people. So there's no risk. There's no $10,000, $100,000, $20,000, $5,000, $80,000 risk to you inviting people to the meeting. There's risk in real estate. And when you learn and watch it over, take the time to learn. You may do a strategy you never even thought because you don't know anything about it, but then you watch the class. So in the meantime, you've got to make money. So we're going to get to that, right? So if we move forward, and we go to realizing what options are, I kind of already talked about that, right? So if we realize what our options are, we start to see that in the real estate. Like, you know, you might experience this. And I forgot to say this on stage. I ran out of time. PowerPoint was kind of going haywire. We couldn't get it up. I just had to wing it from my head, right? And it's amazing what happens in front of 200 people. It doesn't matter. And there's enough room in the classes. There's enough opportunity in our classes for you to keep your W-2, work with your wife or your husband or your spouse, your kids, increase your credit or fix your credit or build your credit, possibly build some business credit, establish the correct businesses, maybe set up an extra holding LLC when you don't even hold any real estate yet. Understand how to get lines of credit, get a HELOC on your house, improve your loan, pay down your debt with velocity banking, and seriously set yourself up to kill it in the next downturn. To kill it in the next downturn. This is what I mean by your options, right? So trust me when I tell you, this training is a marketing training. I'm going to get to the end before we close. Watch this. You set yourself up, right? So you take the time to learn. While you're learning, you're understanding what it is possible for you to be doing. You may end up just never doing a fix and flip, never wholesaling a piece of property, even though it's the greatest strategies in today's market. And you may end up setting yourself up to buy and hold property because you create wealth and you retire on buy and hold property. The fix and flip, wholesaling, sub-2, lease options, Airbnb, depending on how you buy Airbnb, they're money-making activities, but you're not creating wealth, right? Because most likely in Airbnb right now, you guys are paying retail, you're decking the property out, you're spending all this money, and you're going to look over a long-term recovery. And if the market downturns and Airbnb goes to shit, and Airbnb goes to crap, and all the people, can't rent anymore because the laws come into effect. If Airbnb gets the kibosh, then you are going to be 100% leveraged on a property that will never rent for what you owe on it. And what are you going to do with the $20,000 you spent on furniture that you're going to be able to sell for a fraction of the cost, and you're going to lose the house if you're buying it wrong and you're buying it on long-term Airbnb? That's just me, right? So I'm just saying that's a business right now that's going to make you money, but businesses change, climates change, markets change, and if you don't have a long-term strategy in place as a backup, you're going to find yourself bit in the butt. But if you set yourself up to learn and you understand your options and you look to set yourself up to a win and you buy property correctly, and then doesn't matter what the market does, you create wealth. And you may never, ever, ever do a fix and flip in your life. You may never come back to this webinar because over the next downturn, you're going to create yourself into a multimillionaire based on equity and the property going up. Now, so number three is you're gonna learn what options you are when you're spending the time to learn the education. As I wrap this up, I'm going to talk about two more things here. Let's see. These two things go together. You ultimately, when you do the marketing in this time frame, Bob Snyder has set this up for a reason, right? They spend thousands and millions of dollars, whatever it is, millions because of Helios, and countless hours on training, on the concept of earn while you learn. Earn while you learn is there for you because real estate is a process. Real estate, Michael Huggins was there, John O'Neill was there, each one of them, 10 months for their first deal, okay? You can't go 10 months without income like I did. You will get divorced, you will owe hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you will strain your relationship for a long time, and you will not be happy, and you might end up bankrupt, homeless, or foreclosed on, or whatever. So Bob understands this. The earn while you learn system is there to motivate you, right? You're learning real estate. You're taking time to understand everything. So why not give you an opportunity to make a crap ton of money changing someone's life? So you change someone's life by inviting them to the meeting. And ultimately, you change your life, right? Change someone's life changes your life. So all of a sudden, you've got this system that you're working. And here you go back to your commitment, which is number one, which is committing to the marketing. Not the other way around, not committing to real estate. When you commit to the marketing, you master this trade, right? And everybody you talk to that's a leader in the company, that's making money, says, when you study, you have knowledge. You haven't applied it yet, who cares? But you are sophisticated and you know more than the majority of the public. You can have sophisticated real estate education conversations with people that you're inviting to this meeting. You can tell them stuff that you know that they don't know. You can actually control the conversation based on the communication you're getting from your folks that are 32 practicing multimillionaires that are mentoring you on a daily basis. Because why? Step two, you're taking the time to learn. When you take the time to learn, you can plug into the earn while you learn system. The earn while you learn system is inviting people. When you invite people, you change their life. When you change their life, you change your life. And here's why. Organically, without question, you will do real estate. You will naturally have knowledge you've never had before. You will have resources you've never had before. You will have money. You will have deals. You will have trades, right? Guys that are painters, contractors, loan officers, real estate agents, title people. You're inviting all these people, right? You're going to have people with money, people that are retired, people that can't invest their money with you, people that lost money in the stock market, want to put it in self-directed. You're going to have people that know people that are losing their house because they're broke, their family's broke, they're losing their house, and now you're going to have deals. All of a sudden, you're inviting all these people. Who's the expert? You. Whether you've done a deal or two or none, doesn't matter. You're the expert because you know more than them and you invited them. And they're going to bring resources to you. And you're going to meet people in the community because you're coming around. And people are going to start to like you. You're reading the books that Michael offers you. You're reading that you're listening, you're learning self-development that everybody across the country is talking about. You're studying tax and legal. You're changing your financial life. You're not quitting your job. You're not stopping your family. You're checking your commitment at the door. You're looking at it every day and go, am I committed to this system? The system is earn while you learn. The system is not learn. The system is not do real estate as soon as you spend 20 grand. It's not the system. It might work in an up market right now all across the country. Great. It will change and you will lose. You will get caught with a spec home. You will get caught with a flip. You will get caught with more than one. You will get caught owing people money you can't pay back. When you make an extra $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 that you don't need, you change your trajectory of your real estate business. You don't need to borrow earnest deposits anymore. You don't need to raise extra 10 grand to finish a project. These things will happen to you. I promise you. But when you got an extra 10, 20, 30 grand, you're changing lives. You're going to get deals you never even thought of because you're direct to seller and you're the expert. And you will organically do real estate and your life will change. And you plug into the system and you earn while you learn. It starts with your commitment to your business. Thanks, Brandon. Thanks, Keely. You guys, take it from me. I wish that someone told me this. I could cry right now. And I literally mean that, right? I've worked my butt off for 11 years flipping houses, and it's fun. I got a deal in the pipeline that's going to make $80,000 right now. I've made over 80 grand on 2 different deals. The amount of money is awesome, but the amount of stress and time is crazy. When you lose $100,000 on a fix and flip, it sets you back an entire year if you think about it. The other 150 grand that I make or whatever, 200 grand spent buying property, back into the business, paying bills, whatever it is, right? So all the joy out of it's gone. And even if you don't lose 100 grand, you lose 20. Can you afford to pay it back? How long is it going to take you to pay back $20,000 when you don't have a monthly payment and you got to chunk it up? So finish with this, you guys. If I had someone tell me this, if I'd have looked at some of my real estate, looked at creating wealth and fixing my credit right away, looked at paying down debt faster, right? If I'd have looked at the opportunity of the downturning market and understood market analysis, right? Who watches market analysis? What a dumb class, right? No. Are you kidding me? Understanding market trends is like greater than understanding fix and flip. We don't watch that crap because we know it all. You guys, the education at our fingertips is to create wealth. It's unbelievable, and we skip it. We're in too much of a hurry. I bought a house for $5,000 over the phone. I bought houses in Maryvale that today's market, in the condition that they're in, go for 120 to 140 grand. I was buying them for $20,000 to $30,000 every week. And me and my partners were flipping houses to make 20, 30, 40 grand. And we were killing it. Our vision was so narrow-minded. I missed out. I had all the education, all the opportunity, and I blew it. I could have been marketing this education, made an extra 20, 30 grand, bought my own house and sat on it and rented it out. 20, 30 grand cash. You know what these houses rent for in Maryvale? 3 2-bedrooms, John Long, block homes with a carport in probably the most crime-infested, drug-infested areas in all of town. Like $1,600 a month, $1,400 a month, $1,200 a month. Folks, think about what the whole vision is of this. Think about what you want to do. Question your commitment. Check with your 5-star. Check with your leaders. Try not to do this on your own and make it happen. You've got the opportunity to change your life and change other people's lives in the next 5 years like you have no idea. God hope. God, not God. I mean, nobody wants a downturn, but the cycle of the markets are what they are. Be prepared for them. If you're prepared for a downturn and a lot of people are going to lose their butts, then you'll be able to create some income for yourself and some creation wealth for yourself. And then you can turn around and help people again and give to charities, donate, take people off the streets, whatever you want to do. But you can't do that if you can't help yourself first. Help yourself in the downturn. Get yourself positioned. Earn while you learn. Commit to the business, and you guys got this. Lee, thank you, man. You're awesome. Matthew, you're awesome, brother. I can't. Joanne, cool. Dave, beautiful to have you on this call, my friend. You are a leader. Zach, changing lives. Absolutely, you guys. I absolutely love your feedback. I appreciate you being on the phone. The 80 of you that were here. Thank you for your time. Make it a great Tuesday. I love you guys. Enjoy your day. Brandon, you're awesome, brother. Man, I just appreciate every one of you. Keely, thank you so much for everything you do and running these calls, being who you are, and doing the leadership. And everybody else, listen to Dan Clark tomorrow. That man is absolutely, guys, crushing it. Like enrolling students like it's candy. Learn from him. And of course, Christian Sadler is just brilliant on these phone calls. So we'll see you guys on Wednesday and Thursday. Have a great day. You're welcome, Licia. You guys, please take this stuff and do something with it. You guys deserve it. You guys are awesome. I love you guys. I'm going to change the meeting. Woohoo! See you. All right, guys. Thanks, everybody. Make it a great day.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
All right, you too. See you guys.